phone off there or let it keep going. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Barb Pitcock here, and I'm coming to you live from the great state of Oklahoma. And my ring light currently doing blue, yellow, red, and white. So if I look a little crazy, just play along with me here. We're going to call it a disco theme. Maybe I get some John Travolta Saturday Night Fever going on in the background. Chance is trying to help me fix it, but it is having a mind of its own. Maybe it's time for a brand new ring light. I don't know. This one has been used a lot. Open those windows maybe, and let's just see if we can get some natural light. Oh my goodness, guys. Well, if you want to see some dark circles under my eyes, just watch when it goes to blue, right? Now it's purple. Now it's yellow. Now it's red. Anyway, I'm coming to you live from the lake house today, and I'm super excited to be on here. Had a crazy week. Last night, we were so excited to do a mission work that we have been working on. I drove to Texas and got 2,100 sticks of our Rise that we were taking downtown Kansas City so that we could give it out on the streets. And, homeless shelters, people who are in addiction, deep addiction, living on the streets. And what happened was tornadoes hit and we couldn't go because obviously when tornado season is there and they know that there are storms coming, they all leave and try to take shelter. So we would have been alone on the street with a whole bunch of Rise trying to find someone that we could bless with it. So my car is full. I have a truckload. Invisible Angels is giving back, and I'm so excited about the mission work that we're going to be doing. But can you straighten that a little bit? I'm a little slanted over here on Instagram, but we are ready to go. So today we're going to be on the road for 6 or 7 hours, getting back to Kansas. I should have not just said 6 or 7. This is a full-blown fun Saturday morning. I'm telling you, I can see all the kids in the background. Did she just say 6 or 7? No, she did not. But anyway, we're headed back home, and it's a long drive. We're going to have kids in the car today. But before we leave, I wanted to come live and do our weekly No Guts, No Story and share with you guys what's happening in the Pitcock House. So I was a speaker this week at the DSA, DSU event. It's Direct Selling Network. If you don't know what that is, Direct Selling University is a portion of Direct Selling News, and Direct Selling News highlights all the top companies in the world, people from every country, people from services companies, real estate companies, anything in direct sales. So for instance, there was Amway, there was Mary Kay, there was Herbalife, there was so many massive companies. And just to be seated at the table with those people, I'm telling you guys, it was next level. But I was looking in the book and it was crazy because the first day it was all a Latin Latino workshop. And the second day it was everyone from every country. And there was 32 speakers there. And thinking about that, you guys, there are so many great companies in the world. And there are so many of them that paved the way for us to be where we are today. And I think about that because in 1989, I was the girl in Amway. Trying to fix this light, guys. I apologize. It just will not stay on white. I joined Amway in 1989. And in 1989, everybody laughed and they were like, that's a pyramid scheme. What are you doing? I was 18 years old. I had no negative belief about anything, right? And then fast forward 30 years of being in this industry, I have to look back and say, why did I ever begin? Why did I quit and begin again? Why me? Why me in a room of multi-billionaires? Why me in a group of 32 speakers? Now, when I look at the amounts of money that some of these companies generate, obviously the biggest and the best of all is Amway. And they started years and years ago. Mary Kay spoke there. The Mary Kay vice president, 60 years ago, Mary Kay had a dream. How many of you ever bought a Mary Kay lipstick or you ever went to a Mary Kay party? And that company is going through so much right now. And to hear their vice president standing on stage talking about transition, the death of Mary Kay, then her husband, her son, to have the grandson, trying to continue what a grandma started years and years ago, to listen to the companies who have had to pivot because maybe it was back in the day when people did things that we don't do today. And all of a sudden that company is experiencing failure. Well, one of the things that I noticed, pause for a little break here. I don't know if I can do this rainbow light. I might just have to turn off all the light because it is annoying. At least you guys are getting a close-up of my new beautiful mom necklace. Is that not pretty? We launched that this week. It's tuned, has 11 harmonic frequencies. It's beautiful. Okay, I'm just going to ignore it. We're blue, then we're yellow, then we're red. I don't know what we're going to do with this recording, but if you're watching it live, it is definitely a disco show. So one of the things that I wrote down listening to all of them speaking was sometimes they had to push through in the midst of failure and they had to keep going. There was transitions, there was pivots. And I was thinking about my life and my career. In the beginning, I just wanted to go from financial failure to success. I just wanted to make enough money to pay daycare, to be able to not have to go to the thrift store to get my baby clothes, to be able to go somewhere other than the park for an outing. I remember just wanting to go to Chuck E. Cheese, right? And I would have garage sales every month at the end of the month to try and have enough money to pay for what we needed. And when I think about that, guys, the reality is I did what I had to do to get from failure to success. And once I got to survival, not even success, survival, I stopped doing what I knew I needed to do that had actually taken me from failure to survival. So I want you to think of a time in your life when you were really, really struggling. And then you weren't struggling anymore and you had success. And that was enough for you to survive. And then you stopped doing the very things that got you from failing to surviving. And that surviving is you having enough money to pay your bills, maybe having enough money to go on a vacation, maybe being able to give back when you're at church or you have some thing that you're passionate about. And for me, being able to pay my bills and not be a financial failure in a small town was such a burning desire. And once we achieved that and we were surviving, then all of a sudden we stopped. And then we got comfortable in our comfort zone. And what happens when you get comfortable and you stop doing the very things that took you from failure to survival, success is right here, but we sit at survival and then we fall back into what we would call not successful, failure. So I want you just to follow along with me here. I have some notes. We sabotage ourselves for all kinds of reasons. We say, I used to say, my dad left. My mom was a single mom. We're on the wrong side of the tracks. I didn't get to go to college, whatever I would say. Really, that is not the reason why you're unsuccessful, because you can find so many people that went through worse than you did that rose to success. So what is the difference in why we go on this roller coaster over and over and over again? Well, I stumbled on something, and this is what it said. As I began examining my success and failures, what I gradually realized was the very same activities that had rescued me from that failure, took me from failure up to survival line, could have taken me all the way to success had I kept doing them. And that's exactly the point. I wasn't doing them. I stopped doing the right things long enough consistently. And when I look back, I would start to sink back again. And then I would blame everybody around me except myself that I stopped doing the right things long enough consistently. And it's crazy because I was talking to my son Chance this week, and he said, Mom, the reality is most people don't even know what they want. They don't even know what they want. They don't sit down and really map out what is it that they want to achieve in this lifetime. People will spend more time planning their family vacation that's going to happen next summer than they will their financial freedom. I heard so many people this week talking about taxes, and I'm just going to ask you a question. This is a too little or a too much. How much did you pay in income tax? Too little or too much? Because I remember failing at knowing how to make money and not have to pay it all in taxes. I didn't know that the government would actually incentivize you to create housing, to do different things that you could make positive impact, and then you wouldn't have to pay so much in taxes. I didn't know that until a mentor came along and said, Barb, you need to know this, because why would you keep struggling and failing in this area when there's this easy loophole that could help you be more successful? Drop in the comments. Did you have to pay in taxes this week? Do you feel like you paid in too little or too much? Because little did I know that a simple affiliate or distributor agreement could help me write off cell phone, utilities, travel, stamps, paper goods, someone helping to clean my house, someone helping to mow the lawn, all the things that I could have delegated and actually used the money that I had to pay in for taxes anyway, and paid it in wages to be able to simplify my life and have more success. Did you know that the average person's life would be completely changed with just $500 a month? Can you believe that? $500 a month would keep most people out of bankruptcy. Just $500 a month. And I know that that doesn't sound like a lot of money, but I want to ask you guys a question, and I want you to play along here with me. $500 comes in the mail or in your electronic wallet on Friday, and it's going to be there no matter what. Drop in the comments, what are you doing with $500 extra? What are you going to do with $500 extra? Because if you don't have it spent and you don't know what you're going to do with it, it's probably not coming. What you're going to realize is everyone every month gets exactly what they need and not a penny more. Not a penny more. It's always exactly what you need and not a penny more, because we survive, we don't succeed. So if you're a failure in any area in your life, let's say it's your health, let's say it's moving your body, we have a free mentoring group called Freak 44. And it's starting on May the 4th. May the 4th, a free mentoring group, coaching, training, mindset, meal plans, move your body, be around positive energy, all the things. It's a we thing. It's not a me thing. We all collaborate together. And all you would have to do is make a commitment that you want to get better. And then everyone brings you into the group and says, let's get better together, right? But some people who are failing in their health, their fitness, the way that they eat, the way that they manage their money, their mindset, their mood, all the things, they'll stay here. And then the doctor says, oh, you have to lower this or you're going to die. So they'll do just enough to lower it so they don't die, but they don't do anything more. They're average at best. I want you to think about this. Do you want to be ordinary and average, or do you want to rise to be in the upper 32 of your circle? When I sat in that room, I wasn't intimidated because I know my worth. But it was uncomfortable because I didn't know anybody there. I didn't have any corporate team with me. I didn't have any family with me. There was nobody from the field allowed in the room. So it was CEOs only. And I was in a circle with what you would think would be my competitors, right? I mean, they are my competition, except I don't have any competition because we create a category that nobody else has. But there are a lot of people there that all sold makeup, or a lot of people there that all sell GLP-1, like it's everywhere. A lot of people in the room all selling greens or veggie tabs or daily supplements or something to sleep. A lot of people there that sell things that are similar, right? But what sets apart the top 10 from everyone else in the room? And there are thousands of people in that room. Here's what I noticed. There were a lot of people that had a desire. There are a lot of people in that room that had a desire. And a lot of people in that room that started a company. They wanted to succeed, but they're struggling. And they're coming to me saying, you're featured out of 4 startups that has had so much success. What could I do to be more like you? Now, I want to tell you guys something. This is the honest to God truth. There are people in that room that everyone is like, oh my gosh, look at what they just did. Everyone at my table agreed that is never going to last. And I didn't want to get down in the muck and discuss people because that's God's business, right? But let me tell you something. Everything that glitters isn't gold, and everything that goes from zero to hero doesn't stay there. Because of this, write this down. People go from failure to survival and they stop because they're comfortable. Their ego gets in the way. They get in management mode. They think they have arrived and they start to sink back down. What takes you from failure or zero to surviving to absolutely crushing success? I'm going to tell you the secret, and it's going to blow your mind. This is so big. It's the exact things that you did when you were a nobody that took you from nobody to survival. You got to keep doing them and stay in that new person entrepreneur head and not get so smart that you're like, look at us. Here we are. You have to stay humble, stay in the trenches, and master the basics. Mastering the basics over and over and over and over again. What you put in comes out, especially under pressure. People say, I'm just too busy for personal development. Well, then you're going to hit a ceiling because your capacity is only going to be able to handle so much. And then you're either going to hit a ceiling and you're going to be at survival, or you're going to experience a breakthrough and you're going to have massive success. What do you think defines your success? Drop in the comments. What do you think defines your success? I would be interested to know how you measure success. If you were going to be uber successful, drop in the comments. What would you need to do to feel like you had massive success? I can't wait to see the comments. Someone please give me some feedback. This is your cue. Like, I grew up in a Baptist church. So when the pastor would say something, everybody in the crowd would say, amen, amen, right? I'm not asking you to say amen, amen. I'm asking you to say, what needs to happen for you to have success? Your happiness. Christine, I love that. Thinking of a definite thing. I need to know, how do you define success? It feels so good to have accomplished blank, 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 blank. Now, I will tell you guys, I can't tell you all the stories that I have. I have to put my glasses on to read your comments. People are struggling to answer this question. People are literally struggling to answer this question because you've never really sat down and defined what your dream, what your burn, what truly has to happen for you to feel successful. I see it, Miranda, the impact that you make on others. I'm going to agree with that. That is the definition of success. In my mind, feeling like I truly used my gifts to my capacity to impact others. I love that. Continue to have zero debt, zero bills, full control, time freedom, amazing health, a good marriage. Love this. That is defining your dream. And her personal goal, 100 diamonds here. Being the amazing mentor and leader. Love that, Izzy. Accomplishments of what my goal is. So if you have a written down goal and you hit it, you're going to say, I've had success. Financial stability. That's a good one. Black diamond, 1 million a month, knowing I'm making enough money that my family is never homeless again. If you guys don't know Craig's story, they were homeless. He's on our team in the movement with Frequence, and they are in a home achieving their financial goals and dreams. So many stories like this. It's incredible. Financial stability, Bridget says. Time freedom, healthy, happy family, Fonda says. You know, everyone defines success differently, but I think success is having peace of mind that everything is taken care of and serving others. Serving others is really the measure of success that I saw at the Direct Selling University. When you watch the president of Amway go on stage and nobody can touch them, right? Nobody can touch them. I was looking up last night how many $1 billion a year they do. And billion is a lot of sales in a year. I sat next to a company that was not as big as us in their first and second year, doing north of 100 million a month. Now, when I sit next to someone like that and I say, what did they do? Iron sharpens iron, guys. And when we were at 2 million a month, I was like, oh my gosh, I never dreamt that this could be possible. But I want to tell you the secret to how we hit that. We hit that because we held the feeling of knowing what we wanted and the people that we wanted to impact long enough that it came to fruition. Now, what do you think that I was doing when we were at zero? We were at zero. I had always been in the field. I had been in the field in a time in network marketing where hustle culture was the thing. I want to show you what I'm doing. I want to get you on a three-way. I want you to look at this, like commission breath galore. I don't even know how we did it. Everybody was hustling. Everybody was selling a deal. You need to get in. You need to position yourself. Oh my gosh, this is going to be the next big thing. We're just pre-launching. You're not going to believe where this company's going. You guys, I never hear anybody say that right now, because what we're doing is so solid and the product is changing so many people's lives. People love to buy. They hate to be sold. They see your name popping up. They're like, oh my God, what's she selling now? When you literally humble yourself and you get back to the basics, what you did in the very beginning, you shared a true story of something that you were building. When I started my salon, I said, I'm going to go to school. I'm going to learn to cut hair. I would love for you to be my first client. I would love to do a makeover on you. I would love to help you feel and look beautiful. I would love to have you as my model at the fashion show, right? It was always about them. When I started a dance school, I would love to teach your little girl ballet. She is so talented. I would love to take her to competition. I would love to be her mentor, her coach. I would love to help her do a solo. When I think about everything I was ever successful at, I was loving to help others be more, do more, have more. And today, when I look at my name as a speaker in Direct Selling News, a world of motion, Direct Selling's global snapshot, guys, how Barb Pitcock, little bankrupt beautician in a small town with 2 stoplights, married to a bull rider, a busted up bull rider, if you will. How did we become successful? And I'm going to put this in a little tiny nutshell. We defined our dreams with a burning desire for their achievement. We made commitments. I'm going to give you the 8 steps. We defined our dreams with a burning desire for their achievement. We made commitments and we kept commitments, even when it was hard. Do you know what my family was doing while I was sacrificing at this event all week? It was a sacrifice. I did have to sit at tables, go to networking events, be in rooms. It wasn't like, oh, look at me, I'm Cinderella at the ball. It was nothing like that. I just want you to know. It was not within my comfort zone. It was 10 hours of a drive. I was so busy on the way there. I got a spray tan. I didn't even have a minute to shower or go to my room before the first event. I showed up at our facility with a tour of a lot of wildly successful people, smelling like a hot dog, looking like I just got an orange spray paint on me because I had to be spray tanned before the stage day. I didn't get rest. I didn't get to stop and eat. It was 10 hours from Kansas City to Dallas. And when I showed up, there was 15 to 20 people in the lobby waiting for me at a tour. I loaded my car with everything for the charity event last night to take the product and give back to people in homeless situations, recovery, mental health, struggling with addiction. And I loaded up something that I would give, not sell, give. And I was excited about it. And I drove to a hotel that was standing room only. There wasn't enough time to eat before the first girl met me in the lobby early before the meeting because she wanted time before the meeting and she's worth it. I sacrificed. Everybody else was at the bar getting a cocktail or getting some food. I was still hustling, right? I was still grinding, sewing into other people because I love what I do. I got to the meeting. I shared the story. Committed, guys. Remember, I defined my dream. I committed to what I would do. Shared the story. I said, I'm going to zip out of here and head over to the Galleria where the event is that I'm going to all week. And I'm going to let you all finish the meeting. But I didn't leave. I didn't leave. I stayed committed. I was the last one to leave, actually. And I was tired and it was the end of the day. And someone said, could we take a picture? And I went and stood next to two girls that just got out of rehab. Young moms, 2 and 3-year-old daughters. They're still struggling in silence, right? Battling what they do with mental health and trying to stay sober and trying to define their dreams. And do you know what I said to them? I've never been where you are, but my daughter has. I know what you're going through. Let's sit down and talk about your goals and dreams. What commitment could you make to your future? Now, I want you guys to think about it. I had been on the road since 9 a.m. It was 9 p.m. I sat down to take a picture with them. You won't even believe what happened. Someone picked up the wrong phone and left with my phone and my credit cards. I freaked out. Someone just stole my phone. I can't believe someone just stole my phone. That's what I thought. So I called my daughter from a stranger's phone and I said, please start calling my phone because when she calls, it rings on emergency, even if it's on do not disturb. And some person who had been at the meeting that was driving from clear out in McKinney to Arlington said, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to steal your phone. I'll bring it back. And my daughter said, don't be mean to the guy. He sounds like he's, didn't really mean to take your phone. And I finally got my phone back. Then I got in my car to call my family for the first time and say, what an incredible meeting. I'm driving to my hotel. I will call you after I shower and get into bed. And everyone else was at the event. They were in the lobby. They were networking. They were having cocktails. You could have a massage to your room. And I want to tell you guys something. I was still doing the basics that I did 30 years ago because the people that stick to the basics and never stop doing the right things long enough consistently will pass the rest. You can't get comfortable. You can't go from I'm failing to I'm surviving and then think that you've arrived because you haven't. When you think you've arrived, you are right on your way back down. Now, I love what I do, so it never feels like work. And mental health is literally my passion and my purpose. People in addiction and recovery, my heart for them is bigger than the whole state of Texas. So it never felt like work. But I was sacrificing my time. I did sacrifice money. I did sacrifice sleep. I did sacrifice hard work. And when I left that room, I felt so full because when the dream is big enough, when your vision is there, the facts don't count. The facts don't count no matter what it takes. I will be not just one of 32, one of 10. And eventually, my prayer is one of one. You've got to see your name in the lights and you got to act as if it's happening. Now, I want to tell you guys something. The owners of those top 10 companies, they have different discussions. They manage their time differently. They manage their circle differently. They're not going to get caught up in the drama, the riffraff. I doubt they're sitting in their room watching CNN, constant negative news. I doubt that they're talking about your product's not as good as my product. I doubt they're tearing anyone else down. They don't care. They're in the top 10 globally, right? They know that they know that they know who they are. And you've got to begin with the end in mind, knowing who you are. You've got to walk in the room like you own it long before you do. You've got to have the energy of a $1 billion brand before you're going to be a $1 billion brand. And I will tell you something. My dominating thought every day is I am committed. And I know that God is going to take us exactly where we visualize and pray and believe. And we have to stay in faith that he's doing it as we speak. So I walk into the room. None of you will believe this. There's a beautiful mall, the Galleria Mall. Trust me, it was calling my name. I could have been shopping for grandkids, but I was networking. And I walked into a room where a lot of people are starting little startups. And they were picking my brain. And some of them onto a good thing. Some of them started and struggling. Some of them wondering why they ever started. And some of them just saying, should I take this into direct sales or should I just go right on Amazon? And for most of them, I'm like, you should just go sell your product. Because let me tell you, starting a company is not for the weak. It is a lifelong commitment. So in this room, I walk into the room and I know we're going to be one of the top companies in the world. I believe that. I walk into the room. I see a girl in the lobby. I say, that girl is striking. First thing I say, I love your suit. Oh my God, you look gorgeous. Next day, her and I get seated at the same table. Do you want to know why, guys? Because you attract what you put out. When you love on people and you walk in a room with confidence and you know who you are, you attract people that love on people, walk in a room with confidence and know who they are. You're scared of a dog, you're going to get bit. Trust me. We have a parrot at our house. Anyone that's scared of the parrot will literally follow it around and try to nip at its ankles. The people who are not scared of the parrot walk up to the parrot, grab the parrot, put it in its cage. What is holding you back? What is it that's keeping you in survival instead of in success? I'm going to say it's because you stopped doing the very things that would have taken you from failure to where you were getting enough money, getting enough food, getting enough love, or whatever it is that you needed to be okay. But you need to go back to the basics and do what you did in the beginning so that you can go from not just failure to comfortable, but failure to massive success. Master the basics. Step number 3, you've got to be a product of your product. If you don't believe in what you're doing, you're probably miserable. I met a lot of people this weekend, many of them CEOs, corporate people. They have great jobs. They have great benefits. They got plenty of money to take care of their family, and they're just happy. And if that's you and you're just happy and you have peace of mind, that's success to you. I'm going to tell you, I'm never going to get to where I am just comfortable because I have so many lives to change. So in order for me to go from failure, financial failure in 1996 to survival, which happened pretty quickly, and then to have massive success, lose it, massive success, lose it, massive success and keep it, what am I going to do to stay there and keep growing? Iron sharpens iron, guys. I have to believe in what I'm doing, be a product of the product, and actually do what I say I'm going to do every single day. Now, I love our product. It solves an issue. It helps with a problem. It makes impact. There is nothing I would rather do than teach you how to rise and vibe every single day. Get you layered up with all the beautiful jewelry that raises your frequency. Get you protecting yourself from that EMF. Get you drinking 7 organic mushrooms, putting all the minerals in your body, getting all the toxins out so you can live a longer, healthier life. That's a no-brainer. But do you know, I can say to people, we have a free group. You can come in it. We will help you. And then they'll say, well, how much are the products? Well, you could rise and vibe with us for less than $150. Well, that's expensive. Guess what? You're not the one. Because if you can spend $50 every 2 weeks on your fake lashes, or $50 every 2 weeks on your fake nails, or $150 a month on your Starbucks coffee, but you don't have the vision to get minerals in your body, toxins out, brain health and gut health, and be able to make impact, there are a billion people in the world that I can talk to. I'm not going to try to convince someone that says that's too expensive, try and convince them that it's not too expensive. They're right. It's too expensive for them. Don't try to convince people and argue with people to win your case. Go shine in a room where you're going to attract the people that are in alignment with you. Because if not, you're going to feel frustrated. You're going to feel drained. You're going to feel like you're going against the grain. You're not going to be rising. You're going to be surviving. You're going to be exhausted. You're going to have low energy. You're going to want to complain because you're trying to make a pig sing. Stop trying to make a pig sing. It exhausts you, completely drains you, and it annoys the pig because pigs don't sing. I did this for so long, you guys. I did this for so long. And I want to tell you, I got to a point in my life where I realized my health is the most important thing in the world. If you want to go sell life insurance, go do it. You're going to change people's lives and help a family when someone passes away. If you want to go sell makeup, go do it. You're going to make people feel beautiful and you're going to feel like you made impact. If you want to go sell travel and you think that's hot, go do it. I don't care what you sell, but find a product that you love. Let me tell you what I love. I love transformations. I love things that people say, I would not be here today if it wasn't for you. And I'm not going to be able to do that with anything else other than what I'm doing. So I'm going to do me, and I want you to do you. But I want to tell you something that's really, really important that my mentor told me. Really, really important. You have to have definiteness of purpose. Because what took you from failure to survival is not going to take you success if you don't have laser focus on one thing. Now, I have multiple streams of income. Do not get me wrong. But I do not have 5 direct selling brands, right? I made my fortune in network marketing. And I invested that fortune in real estate, in brick and mortars, in publishing, doing other things that I knew I could make impact, in equipment, right? In something that could build my business. I didn't go to the top of Nutrition for Life and say, now I think I'm going to add on Avon. Now, I know there's a lot of influencers in the world that are doing that and they're going to make money, right? But I'm not talking about making money. I'm talking about creating a legacy income that is going to be here long after you are not here. A legacy income that your children are going to have because you built it so solid. I talked to so many owners of companies this weekend, and not one of them has a top earner at the top of the company pay plan doing more than one thing. They said, you can't stop it. It's a loud world out there. People think they got to be the jack of all trades, but honestly, many of them try and they ruin their credibility. They sabotage their success, and they're constantly trying to get 1,000 from here, 1,000 from here, 2,000 from there, while somebody else who's got definiteness of purpose, the 8 steps to financial freedom that I learned in 1996, Define your dream and get a burning desire for its achievement. Make a commitment and stay steadfast and loyal to that commitment. Use the products that you love and share something that you believe in with everybody you know. And the next step number 4, who do you align with? Who do you want to do business with? Who do you want at your mastermind table? Be picky about this. Who do you want to spend the rest of your life with and change the world with? Who thinks like you think? Who works like you work? Who dreams like you dream? Who believes like you believe, right? And you make that list of people and you reach out to them like I did when I had a salon, like I did when I had a dance school, like I did when we opened a retail store in the mall. And you say, guess what? I'm launching something. If I opened a pizzeria and I paid $400,000 for a Pizza Hut and I didn't put out a sign and I didn't have a launch party and I didn't let the world know what I was doing, nobody's coming to buy pizza. I've got to get loud about my story and sharing that product. Step number 5, sharing that opportunity, sharing that story is so important. And with social media, we all have a TV ad going every day. Video is your friend. Reels every day. Stories every day. Live video every day. You could be selling a poop scoop service. Right now, I have 2 kids in my driveway videoing themselves about to power wash our house at the lake. They started a power washing business. And guess what? They knocked on the door and they said to Dave, we will power wash your entire driveway, your cement. We have a special technique that we do. Guys, we own a power washer. Dave's very capable. He washed our boat yesterday, right? Nope. We're going to pay these kids $250. Why? Because they had ambition. They knocked on the door. They told us what they were doing with enthusiasm. And they say, would you be my customer? And Dave said, yes. And you know what I said? Give them $250 more. Ask them if they'll do all the gutters too, because we could do it, but it's convenience and it's quality and it's ambition and their story. Their story is why Dave gave them the money. They're 2 high school kids making money for college. Do you even know your story? Are you sharing your product? Are you sharing your opportunity? Or did you do just enough to survive? And now you're a Secret Service agent. Now you're not even telling anybody what you're doing. You quit going live. You quit posting. You quit talking. You quit putting it in your story. You think everyone knows because you posted one time. Nobody even saw that. And once you share your story and you go live or you do a reel, you have to follow up. The fortune in any business, any dream that you're going to be successful at is in the follow-up. The fortune is in the follow-up. The conversation after the conversation. So this weekend, I was seated at a table. I fell in love with these people around the table. I told them, your company is amazing. I don't even know how I got seated here with you. Like, you're a boss. And we broke bread together, if you will. I mean, believe it or not, I didn't care what company they were in. I opened up this and I said, who wants a mushroom? And I was dealing them out like a deck of cards. Here, 5 for you, 5 for you, 5 for you. I didn't say, do you want to buy a 5-day experience? I said, put this in your water. You're going to crap your pants when you feel as good as I do. And the one girl who tried it a year ago and said that she didn't like it said, oh my gosh, Barb, is this a placebo effect? Or did I just get rid of my headache? And I go, I'm sure you felt good. I mean, it takes down inflammation. It has methylated B in it, which you probably don't have. It could be the water you just drank. I mean, hydration can fix a headache. Probably not as good as my frequency tuned water would, but hydration could fix the headache, right? My energy said, everybody's getting in, everyone's joining frequency. And eventually, if ever they're looking, I will be here and they will remember how I made them feel. I didn't even have time to follow up. And these people were like, I know a girl in your company. Can I wear your bracelet? And I said, yeah, wear my bracelet. You can keep it on all day. Handed them the frequency tuned bracelet. You're going to feel so good. Here they are. Am I going to feel it right away? It doesn't work like that. You didn't get sick right away, and you might feel it right away, but it takes time to get you from -250 back to 0, right? Not just survival, Let's get you to success. Next thing I know, these girls that are top executives running big companies, like in the top 20 of the world, are buying Frequence products from someone they know in Frequence because of how they feel. You guys, failure to survival to success is going to come down to how you make people feel every single day. This is not about you. You need to get out of your own way and start serving and loving on other people. Define your dream. Make your commitment. Use your product. Be a product of your product. Make a list of who you want to do life with and tell them the story. Share the product, share the opportunity, whatever it is. Follow up and follow through. Or they're going to go buy something from someone else. Friends don't let friends drink bad mushrooms. Just saying. Friends don't let friends stay in low vibration. Even if they are running a makeup company, running a tea company, running whatever they're running, they still need to raise their vibration because nobody else has this. And I know that. So my confidence is you need frequency in your body. You need frequency on your body. You need frequency around your body, right? You need, guess what they need more than anything? They need you. People are buying you. And when you start these people right and they feel your conviction, your energy, you know where you're going, there's not a doubt in your mind. You don't walk in the room like you're a little peon in a room full of big sharks. You walk in the room like you are the shark because you know that you know that you know. You defined your dream. You built that dream. You've made a commitment. You love your product. You believe in your product. You know where you're going. You've got a list of people. They're coming with you. You got to believe they're coming with you before you ever begin. And you got to follow up and follow through and sow into those people like your life depends on it. Because honestly, in my opinion, it does. I know at the end of this life, when people are reading my eulogy, I know what it's going to say. She did it all. She left it all. She used every talent. She gave back every treasure. She spent every bit of her time. And she witnessed about the most important thing. And that is what God's doing in my life every single day, you guys. I left that event. Couldn't wait to get back to my family. Let's be 100. I couldn't wait to get here and hug Rose, sit in the hot tub with Lola, watch them catch fish. But do you know what I was doing the whole time? I was thinking about all of you because I wouldn't be able to sit here and hug Rose or go and catch fish or relax in the back in a hot tub, or be able to have the time freedom to do what I want, when I want, whenever I want, with whoever I want, if I didn't have other people in the mastermind that locked arms, that are of the same cloth saying, let's do this thing. Today, I have people in Cincinnati, Ohio, Stacy Job, Jordan Job, Coach Brian, doing an event without me. Tomorrow, I have Jess Landau in New York City doing an event without me. Where are you from? Tell me in the comments, where are you from? Because I will guarantee you, I can find a mentor in your area. I can find you a mentor today in your area that would say, let's create a mastermind. Iron sharpens iron. Let's make money. Let's do life. Let's pay off debt. Let's go on a free cruise. Let's help other people. Let's take this mission work to the streets in your town. How about your town? Are there people struggling? Are there people that are sad? Are there people in recovery? Are there people on the streets? Are there people struggling with their mental health? Are there families that are broke? Who knows a family that's broke? Anybody struggling financially right now? Or is it just in my town? Because everywhere I look, people need money like they need oxygen. And we have a direct line to the source. A direct line to the creator that creates more money than you can spend, that gives back more blessings that you ever dreamt, that's going to take whatever your problem is, your setback, and help you create an authentic story to take you to a comeback like you never dreamt God could create. And that's what he did for me, guys. I've been bankrupt. I've been in financial ruins. I've been broken. I've even questioned if God was real. I've been sad. I've been codependent. I have played the victim card when someone took my company or took my money or bankrupt a company and stopped paying me. I've been all the things. But I want to tell you guys something. My faith is so strong and so restored that your story is your superpower. And you got to quit telling only part of it. When you step up like Craig did and say, I was homeless and now I'm not, Craig was telling the story when he was homeless to not be homeless. And now he's not just surviving in a home, he's dreaming of the dream home. Guys, I want you to go from failure to survival to success. But you got to get back to the basics, and it starts with defining your dreams. So that's all I got for you guys. Drop in the comments, what was your takeaway today? What was your takeaway today? And if you need a mentor, drop in the comments mentor. I'm going to go back through all of these commitments, all of these comments, and I'm going to help connect you with someone that can take you from failure, not just to survival, but all the way to success. I'll see you next Saturday on No Guts, No Story. Have a great day, everyone.